on here, and I am very excited to jump into this morning's devotion. So I took about a 2 week break. That way I could tend to family things. I could enjoy time with our oldest boy while he's visiting here from Washington. So overall, oh my gosh, it's kind of chilly this morning. Overall, this week has been a blast, and now it is time to jump back into devotion. I feel very bad that I haven't continued devotion on a everyday basis while I was taking a break just from everyday life thing, because I thought about it after the fact that I already went this far without it. Um, it kind of did slow me down a little bit, as far as a clear mind and a change of mindset. So it really does make an impact if you shy away from the Lord. And it's not like I haven't been jumping into devotion. I just haven't been on devotion live and really digging into other parts of devotion. So with that being said, I miss you guys. I can't wait to jump into devotion, and we're gonna start right now. So we're gonna jump back into David and Tamila Mann, and those are the that couple from Madia, Mr. Brown, and we're gonna finish up their devotion, and it was all about marriage. Okay, if you are in a relationship, it doesn't have to be, you don't have to be married, so you can still apply this to just your partner, life with your partner, or a significant other, or a boyfriend, girlfriend. It doesn't matter. These are all the things that are in the Bible that can help us through our marriage. And if you guys have been following me with their devotion, it really hits a lot of points. And these are some of the points that me and Moses has worked throughout our marriage too. Remember, this year we're at 17 years of being married, and it's really crazy. I mean, because when we read this is all the things that we went through and we worked through the Lord as well. And if you can build that relationship and that devotional relationship and that godly relationship with um with the Lord, then you'll be on good terms. Hi, good morning, you guys. Okay, let's go ahead and jump into it. So what David is saying, ask for help. So when an issue becomes too difficult for you and your spouse to manage together, it may be time to call on the objective and the third party to help you figure things out, right? Oh gosh, I'm not too sure. Hold on one second, but we are definitely talking about marriage and into scriptures, okay? Every once in a while, all of us can benefit from a mediator that we trust to step in and provide wise counsel. Like some people, they look into marriage counseling. Some people, they look into like a friendship, right? They call somebody has any of you guys ever called somebody, like a friend or a family member or even a mom, dad, or grandparents, when you got into an argument with your other half? I have. Majority of the time I will deal with it on my own, or I will just talk to the Lord and I'll ask him on my own and in my own space and by myself, like, what do I do? Right? But you have to build that relationship. So this ensures that both parties are heard, and a resolve can be achieved. Okay, that's what you want to do. If you can't talk to your other half, you want to resolve it, but sometimes it is so hard to talk with your other half, right? Oh yeah. Well, even here, I mean, yeah, you work it out. And in India, you guys also still do what is it called? You guys are still placed in a marriage, right? Isn't it where your parents can still pick who you're married to? I know one of my friends, Gautam and Akshay, that are in India. They are, I want to say that they were arranged marriage um based on, I guess, their birth dates or something like that. Yeah, you guys are very strict in your marriage. But even in my family alone, like, we don't really believe in that. our grandparents were raised us to really work on our relationship, right? And so that's kind of like what is being said, right? There's nothing wrong going to a counselor. There's nothing wrong with confiding in your pastor or a spiritual leader. So God had anointed certain individuals to help you work through your problems when you don't see the light at the end of the tunnel, okay? So remember, we are all placed in this world, in this earthly world by the Lord to be able to take care of different things. Can you imagine if everybody was the same exact thing? So, like, can you imagine if we only had doctors in this world? Like, how would we wouldn't even be able to go to a restaurant because there wouldn't be a cook because everybody would be doctors. You see, so the Lord placed everybody in their own in is they're here for a purpose. Everybody is here for a purpose. You're here for a purpose. I'm here for a purpose. Everyone is here for a purpose. Okay, but there's nothing wrong with confiding in a pastor or somebody of spiritual ways, right? So God has anointed individuals to help us through everything, for us to work with our problems, everything in life, right? It is God that it is God's will that your marriage prospers, and you must know that God is faithful to send help in the time of need. So if there's a time in need, then the Lord will go ahead and work with you on that. He will send the help, but you have to ask for it, right? Akash, in India, marriage is not with in two persons. Marriage is in two family. That's why 19. Yes, yes. But you guys also go on. I forget what it's called. Like you guys go based on your what is it called? Like it's like your birthday, but like if like I'm a Pisces and then they would match. Um. Oh my goodness, what is it? Yes, and I know you guys have long marriages, like long weddings. I believe my friend's wedding was like, I think like 2 weeks. It was crazy. But you know what? India, you guys have, we have like in our family, like Hawaiian culture, like we do have a lot of our families, our cultures combined, and there's everybody is together as one. But I understand where you guys are coming from in the Indian world. Kundal matching. Oh, okay, 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 okay. Yeah, so even like in my culture, like the two families come together and it's like a big party and we get to know each other and all these things. It's very um not similar, but we do have we kind of like build a relationship together for like years, and then we come together and get married. Okay. And it's not like your guys' when you guys are like very quick. Um okay, so Tamila, right, who is David's wife. So Tamila and I have always encouraged our friends and family members to seek counseling. Okay, so we have often reached out to others that we trust. Okay, and they reach out to people that they trust to help them with their difficult issues in their marriage. So the key to David was to constantly tell himself and to communicate to his wife Tam that they can get through this, and it's only a rough patch. So he's not going to give up on her. His desire is to straighten up their marriage and any means necessary. Okay, so and that's just like how me and Moses was, right? Me and Moses always wanted to work out our issues together, but at one point in our relationship, we also was butting heads, right? But when you start to understand your partner in this marriage and in this partnership, you can kind of understand their their strengths and their weaknesses. In some areas, I was able to speak out my feelings. In some areas, Moses was unable to speak out to his feelings because feelings for him wasn't that it wasn't a thing, until we started dating. Then he kind of started to gain all these feelings. But how do you deal with the feelings? See, it's so different. Everybody doesn't deal with things the same way. So we have to have that respect boundary. And that's where the Lord comes in, and friends and family, right? But these are the questions that you need to ask yourself. Is it time to seek counseling? And if the answer is yes, it's okay. List a couple of trusted and or referred counselors and interview them so you both agree on a choice. Remember, when you're in a partnership, it it's two people need to agree. You guys need to come to agreement. It can't just be one person. Oh yeah, we'll just go with it because that's what you want. Oh, we'll just go with it because I don't want to hear you grumbling. So yeah, whatever. But then the other person is still out of the picture because they're not comfortable with this person. So you have to make it comfortable for both of you. Okay. Like for me and Moses, we always turn to the Lord and we always ask him these things. Lord, please help us through this. I mean, we are just bouncing heads. What can I do to help me to be able to share what I'm actually feeling so that my partner doesn't like dissect it and only grasp what they want to hear. Okay, so in Matthew 5:9 says, God blesses those who work for peace, for they will be called the children of God. Okay. And I feel like we've heard that before, right? I feel like we've heard that before in our devotions. Okay, and last but not least, David said to just let it go. Okay. Sometimes the argument is over, but the feelings remain. Okay. Our Even though the argument is done, of course our feelings are going to remain. If we got coming to an argument with our partners, it's not like the feelings are going to dissipate like right away. No. But can we stop the argument? The answer is yes. Okay. Other times, the memory of harsh words replay in your minds long after the argument has ended. But if you allow your argument to endure, okay, for too long, then unforgiveness will ruin your relationship. Okay. So David and Tam have decided to just LIG, let it go. Okay. It does not diminish anybody's feelings, okay? But the decision to let it go did free each of them from their own self-induced prison. Remember, sometimes we dwell on it and we're stuck being depressed. Okay, we're the ones putting ourselves in prison if we don't let it go. Okay, and that was me. Every time I would have an argument, I it was so hard to let it go, and it'll just keep coming up and up and up. And Moses just carried on with his day, but I carried my day with a weight on my shoulder because I didn't let it go. Okay, and remember, you're not hurting the other person. You're only hurting yourself and you're only weighing yourself down. Okay. I don't know about you, but the last thing I want to look at is my spouse, and and only see the pain I've caused. I don't want to become the object of her deepest pain. Okay, and that's David speaking. He doesn't want Tam to be in pain, and he doesn't want to see that, and nor do I in my relation. And I'm sure that other people in their relationship wouldn't want to see the person that they love go through that. Okay, so forgiveness is not easy, but it is always worth it. Okay, it's okay to forgive. Okay, remember, be kind and compassionate. Okay, to one another, forgiving each other. Okay, forgiving one another just as Christ forgave you. Okay, in Ephesians 4:32. Okay, remember, Christ, God forgave you. Okay, He forgave us. He says, be kind and compassionate to one another. Okay, forgiving each other just as Christ God had forgave you. Okay, if you guys want to look more into it and read more read more into the scripture, check out Ephesians 4:32. Okay, it's impossible to have a successful relationship if you don't forgive. If you're willing to extend the same grace that God has extended to you, your marriage will flourish. And that's kind of what me and Moses is doing. Me and Moses had extended ourselves fully, like, to the Lord, and as a family and together as a partner. Okay, as and we want our marriage to flourish. Like, now we're like in the best means of communication that we have ever been in our marriage, I feel. Okay, and I feel like Moses kind of feels the same way. Like, we haven't argued in quite a bit, and I love it. No, she was hips. Okay, but here's the activity. Okay, here's an activity for you guys to do. 5 rules for fighting. Okay, come up with 5 rules to implement whenever you argue. Okay, these rules will help you make sure that one bad moment doesn't turn into a miserable marriage. For example, when David and Tam argues, he will never cut her off while she is speaking. Okay. And that's the one thing a lot of people do is as soon as we're arguing with our partner, we're so fast to cut them off. Like, oh no, 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 no. That's not what I meant. Da, da, da. But instead of just letting them speak, just let your partner speak what they have to speak and then speak after. When you cut them off, it just fuels it, you know? And that's what we learn to do. Me and Moses learned to just stop and allow the person to speak their mind and then kind of, jump on it and be like, oh, I didn't realize that that's how you felt. I didn't realize that's how you felt. That's not what I seen it as this, you know, and I didn't realize that you seen it this way, but that's not what I meant. And, and then that's when things just die down. It's not like we're putting fuel to the fire. Okay, when you argue with your partner, you never want to add more fuel. You want to kill that fuel. You know what I mean? You want to kill that fire. Okay, you don't want it to fester up and lead to other things. Okay. Ephesians 4:32 says, "Instead, be kind to each other, tender-hearted, forgiving one another, just as God through Christ has forgive you." Okay. All right, you guys, congratulations. So we completed this plan. Okay. I love it. And tomorrow, I will definitely see you guys for devotion tomorrow. And yeah, I'm excited. Don't forget, I'm probably going to pre record on Wednesday because I do have an appointment. And so I'm flying out for the day and I'll be back. But during the time that we're supposed to be having devotion, I'm probably going to be on the airplane. But I'm going to try my best to pre record it. And then that's going to be on the 4th. And then we'll resume the lives after. Okay. Other than that, you guys have a blessed one. Thank you guys for joining me. I hope you guys have a blessed day. Ahui ho.